are listening to Second Chance Ministry Radio.
Mother's Day Poetry, a selection of verse read by Tim Graham and Gisela Rowe. Introduction. The relationship with our mother is one of the most powerful many of us will ever feel. It rivals those with our children and partners in a way that both permeates and challenges how and on what terms we live our lives. A woman giving birth is not only bringing life into the world, she is doing so usually at great pain to herself. The fact that this is transformed within minutes of birth to a deep, unconditional love is truly beautiful. Whatever the future brings for mother or child, that bond will hold. The first attempts at language by babies and toddlers is usually m and ma, a universal sound for mother. In every race, culture and domain, mothers are seen as both a symbol and living emblem of love and nurture, of comfort and safety. As we grow older, that relationship changes, but on a fundamental level remains giving, unconditional and unequivocal. As we become parents ourselves, that circle of experience completes a full turn. For poets through time, this unique and fulfilling relationship has enabled some of the greatest verse to be written by some of our most famed poets, from Wordsworth to Whitman to Tennyson. We hope this experience of listening to these carefully chosen words will help you reflect and further enjoy the experience that a mother's love has brought to your life. Their devotion to us ensures ours to theirs. Whilst we celebrate Mother's Day once a year, every day is their day. A Mother's Picture by Alice Carey. A lady, the loveliest ever the sun looked down upon, you must paint for me. Oh, if I only could make you see the clear blue eyes, the tender smile, the sovereign sweetness, the gentle grace, the woman's soul and the angel's face, that are beaming on me all the while. I need not speak these foolish words, yet one word tells you all I would say. She is my mother. You will agree that all the rest may be thrown away.
The Sailor's Mother by William Wordsworth. One morning, raw it was and wet, a foggy day in winter time, a woman on the road I met, not old, though something past her prime, majestic in her person, tall and straight, and like a Roman matron's was her mien and gait. The ancient spirit is not dead. Old times, thought I, are breathing there. Proud was I that my country bred such strength and dignity so fair. She begged an alms, like one in poor estate. I looked at her again, nor did my pride abate. When from these lofty thoughts I woke, "What is it," said I, "that you bear beneath the covert of your cloak, protected from this cold damp air?" She answered soon as thus continuing, she said, "I had a son, who many a day sailed on the seas, but he is dead. In Denmark he was cast away, and I have travelled weary miles to see if aught which he owned might still remain for me. The bird and cage, they both were his. 'Twas my son's bird, and neat and trim. He kept it many voyages. The singing bird had gone with him. When last he sailed, he left the bird behind, from bodings as might be that hung upon his mind. He to a fellow lodger's care had left it to be watched and fed, and pipe its song in safety there. I found it when my son was dead, and now God help me for my little wit. I bear it with me, sir. He took so much delight in it."
Nature, the Gentlest Mother by Emily Dickinson. Nature, the gentlest mother, is impatient of no child, the feeblest of the waywardest, her admonition mild. In forest and the hill, by traveller be heard, restraining rampant squirrel, or too impetuous bird. How fair her conversation, a summer afternoon, her household, her assembly, and when the sun go down, her voice among the isles, incite the timid prayer of the minutest cricket, the most unworthy flower. When all the children sleep, she turns as long away as will suffice to light her lamps, then bending from the sky, with infinite affection and infinite care, her golden finger on her lip will silence everywhere. Jesus, the Virgin's holy Son, we praise thee and adore, who art with God the Father one, and Spirit evermore.
News for Her Mother by Thomas Hardy. 1 mile more is where your door is, mother mine. Harvest coming, mills are strumming, apples fine, and the cider made to year will be as wine. Yet, not viewing what's a-doing here around, is it thrills me, and so fills me that I bound, like a ball or leaf or lamb along the ground. Tremble not now, at your lot now, silly soul. Hosts have sped them, quick to wed them, great and small, since the first two sighing half-hearts made a whole. Yet I wonder, will it sunder her from me? Will she guess that I said yes, that his I'd be, ere I thought she might not see him as I see. Old brown gable, granary, stable, here you are. O my mother, can another ever bar mine from thy heart, make thy nearness seem afar?
Mother's Eyes by Mary D.B. Hull. What are the songs the mother sings, of birds and flowers and pretty things? Baby lies in her arms and spies all his world in the mother's eyes. What are the tales the mother tells, of gems and jewels and silver bells? Baby lies in her arms and spies all his wealth in the mother's eyes. What are the thoughts in the mother's mind, of the gentle Saviour, loving and kind? Baby lies in her arms and spies all his heaven in the mother's eyes.
My mother's hands. Such beautiful, beautiful hands. They're neither white nor small, and you, I know, would scarcely think that they were fair at all. I've looked on hands whose form and hue a sculptor's dream might be, yet are those wrinkled, aged hands more beautiful to me. Such beautiful, beautiful hands. Though heart were weary and sad, these patient hands kept toiling on that the children might be glad. I always weep as looking back to childhood's distant day, I think how those hands rested not when mine were at their play. Such beautiful, beautiful hands, they're growing feeble now, for time and pain have left their mark on hands and heart and brow. Alas, alas, the nearing time, and the sad, sad day to me, when 'neath the daisies out of sight these hands will folded be. But oh, beyond this shadow land, where all is bright and fair, I know full well these dear old hands will palms of victory bear, where crystal streams through endless years flow over golden sands, and where the old grow young again, I'll clasp my mother's hands.
Shakespeare. Henry IV. The pretty and sweet manner of it forced those waters from me which I would have stopped, but had I not so much of man in me, and all my mother came into mine eyes, and gave me up to tears.
Woman, Her Glory, Her Shame, and Her God, by William Stuart Ross. They say man rules the universe, that subjects shore and main kneel down and bless the empery of his majestic reign. But a sovereign, gentler, mightier man from his throne has hurled, for the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world.
On My Mother's 50th Birthday by Lucretia Maria Davidson. Yes, mother, 50 years have fled with rapid footsteps over thy head, have passed with all their motley train, and left thee on thy couch of pain. How many smiles and sighs and tears, how many hopes and doubts and fears have vanished with that lapse of years. Though past those hours of pain and grief have left their trace on memory's leaf, have stamped their footprints on the heart in lines which never can depart, their influence on the mind must be as endless as eternity. Years, ages to oblivion roll, their memory forms the deathless soul. They leave their impress as they go, and shape the mind for joy or woe. Yes, mother, 50 years have passed, and brought thee to their close at last. Oh, that we all could gaze like thee back on that dark and tideless sea, and mid its varied records find a heart at ease with all mankind, a firm and self-approving mind. Grief that had broken hearts less fine hath only served to strengthen thine. Time that doth chill the fancy's play hath kindled thine with pure array, and stern disease whose icy dart hath power to chill the shrinking heart, has left thine warm with love and truth, as in the halcyon days of youth. O turn not from the meed of praise, a daughter's willing justice pays, but greet with smiles of love again this tribute of a daughter's pen.
Shall We Not Love Thee, Mother Dear, by Henry Williams Baker. Shall we not love thee, Mother dear, whom Jesus loved so well, and to his glory year by year thy joy and honour tell? Bound with a curse of sin and shame, we helpless sinners lay, until in tender love he came to bear the curse away. And thee he chose from whom to take true flesh his flesh to be, in it to suffer for our sake, by it to make us free. Thy babe he lay upon thy breast, to thee he cried for food, thy gentle nursing soothed to rest the incarnate Son of God. O wondrous depth of grace to Mary, O what joy 'twas thine in his dear love to know. Joy to be mother of the Lord, and thine the truer bliss, in every thought and deed and word to be for ever his. And as he loves thee, mother dear, we too will love thee well, and to his glory year by year thy joy and honour tell. Jesus, the Virgin's holy Son, we praise thee and adore, who art with God the Father one and Spirit evermore. The Virgin Mother by D.H. Lawrence. My little love, my darling, you are a doorway to me. You let me out of the confines into this strange country, where people are crowded like thistles, yet are shapely and comely to see. My little love, my dearest, twice you have issued me, once from your womb, sweet mother, once from myself, to be free of all hearts, my darling, of each heart's home life free. And so, my love, my mother, I shall always be true to you. Twice I am born, my dearest, to life and to death in you. And this is the life hereafter, wherein I am true. I kiss you goodbye, my darling. Our ways are different now. You are a seed in the night time. I am a man to plough the difficult glebe of the future for God to endow. I kiss you if I were calm as you are, sweet and still on your bier. O God, if I had not to leave you alone, my dear. Let the last word be uttered. O grant the farewell is said. Spare me the strength to leave you now you are dead. I must go, but my soul lies helpless beside your bed.
Homer's Hymn to the Earth, Mother of All by Shelley. O universal mother who dost keep from everlasting thou foundations deep, eldest of things, great earth, I sing of thee, all shapes that have their dwelling in the sea, all things that fly or on the ground divine, live, move, and there are nourished, these are thine, these from thy wealth thou dost sustain. From thee fair babies are born, and fruits on every tree hang ripe and large, revered divinity. The life of mortal men beneath thy sway is held, thy power both gives and takes away. Happy are they whom thy mild favours nourish, all things unstinted round them grow and flourish. For them endures the life-sustaining field its load of harvest, and their cattle yield large increase, and their house with wealth is filled. Such honour dwell in cities fair and free, the homes of lovely women prosperously. Their sons exult in youth's new budding gladness, and their fresh daughters free from care or sadness. With bloom inwoven dance and happy song, on the soft flowers the meadow grass among, leap round them sporting, such delights by thee are given rich power, revered divinity. Mother of gods, thou wife of starry heaven, farewell. Be thou propitious and be given a happy life for this brief melody, nor thou nor other songs shall unremembered be.
Song of Proserpine by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Sacred goddess, Mother Earth, thou from whose immortal bosom gods and men and beasts have birth, leaf and blade and bud and blossom, breathe thine influence most divine on thine own child Proserpine. If with mists of evening dew thou dost nourish these young flowers till they grow in scent and hue, fairest children of the hours, breathe thine influence most divine on thine own child Proserpine.
On Receipt of My Mother's Picture by William Cowper. Oh, that those lips had language, life has passed with me but roughly since I heard thee last. Those lips are thine, thy own sweet smiles I see, the same that oft in childhood solaced me. Voice only fails, else how distinct they say, grieve not, my child, chase all thy fears away. The meek intelligence of those dear eyes, blessed be the art that can immortalize, the art that baffles time's tyrannic claim to quench it, here shines on me still the same. Faithful remembrancer of one so dear, O welcome guest, thou unexpected here, who bids me honour with an artless song, affectionate, a mother lost so long. I will obey, not willingly alone, but gladly as the precept were her own. And while that face renews my filial grief, fancy shall weave a charm for my relief, shall steep me in Elysian reverie, a momentary dream that thou art she. My mother, when I learnt that thou wast dead, say, wast thou conscious of the tears I shed? Hovered thy spirit over thy sorrowing son, wretch even then, life's journey just begun? Perhaps thou gavest me, though unseen, a kiss, perhaps a tear, if souls can weep in bliss. Ah, that maternal smile, it answers, yes, I heard the bell tolled on thy burial day, I saw the hearse that bore thee slow away, and turning from my nursery window drew a long, long sigh, and wept a last adieu. But was it such? It was, where thou art gone, adieus and farewells are a sound unknown. May I but meet thee on that peaceful shore, the parting sound shall pass my lips no more. Thy maidens grieved themselves at my concern, oft gave me promise of a quick return. What ardently I wished, I long believed, and disappointed still was still deceived. By disappointment every day beguiled, dupe of tomorrow, even from a child. Thus many a sad tomorrow came and went, till all my stock of infant sorrow spent. I learnt at last submission to my lot, but though I less deplored thee, never forgot. Where once we dwelt our name is heard no more, children not thine have trod my nursery floor, and where the gardener robin day by day drew me to school along the public way, delighted with my bauble coach, and wrapped in scarlet mantle warm and velvet capped, 'tis now become a history little known, that once we called the pastoral house our own, short-lived possession, but the record fair that memory keeps of all thy kindness there, still outlives many a storm that has effaced 1,000 other themes less deeply traced. Thy nightly visits to my chamber made, that thou mightst know me safe and warmly laid. Thy morning bounties ere I left my home, the biscuit or confectionery plum, the fragrant waters on my cheeks bestowed, by thy own hand till fresh they shone and glowed. All this, and more endearing still than all, thy constant flow of love that knew no fall, never roughened by those cataracts and breaks that humour interposed too often makes. All this still legible in memory's page, and still to be so to my latest age, adds joy to duty, makes me glad to pay such honours to thee as my numbers may. Perhaps a frail memorial, but sincere, not scorned in heaven, though little noticed here. Could time his flight reversed restore the hours when playing with thy vestures tissued flowers, the violet, the pink, and jessamine, I pricked them into paper with a pin, and thou wast happier than myself the while, wouldst softly speak and stroke my head and smile. Could those few pleasant hours again appear? Might one wish bring them? Would I wish them here? I would not trust my heart, the dear delight seems so to be desired, perhaps I might. But no, what here we call our life is such, so little to be loved, and thou so much, that I should ill requite thee to constrain thy unbound spirit into bonds again. Thou as a gallant bark from Albion's coast, the storms all weathered and the oceans crossed, shoots into port at some well-havened isle, where spices breathe and brighter seasons smile. There sits quiescent on the floods that show her beauteous form reflected clear below, while airs impregnated with incense play, around her fanning light her streamers gay. So thou with sails how swift has reached the shore, where tempests never beat nor billows roar, and thy loved consort on the dangerous tide of life long since has anchored at thy side. But me, scarce hoping to attain that rest, always from port withheld, always distressed, me howling winds drive devious, tempest tossed, sails ripped, seams opening wide, and compass lost. And day by day some current's thwarting force sets me more distant from a prosperous course. But oh, the thought that thou art safe, and he, that thought is joy, arrive what may to me. My boast is not that I deduce my birth from loins enthroned and rulers of the earth, but higher far my proud pretensions rise, the son of parents passed into the skies. And now farewell, time unrevoked has run his wonted course, yet what I wished is done. By contemplation's help, not sought in vain, I seem to have lived my childhood over again, to have renewed the joys that once were mine, without the sin of violating thine. And while the wings of fancy still are free, and I can view this mimic shoe of thee, time has but half succeeded in his theft, thyself removed, thy power to soothe me left.
Thank you for listening on Second Chance Ministry.